Alistar, the Minotaur. There's something about the clans of the Great Barrier Mountains, something unique. For starters, out of all the civilizations that have butted heads with Noxus, they lasted the longest. Also, they're big old minotaurs. For many a century, these minotaurs guarded the trade routes to Zon, choosing not to involve themselves in whatever the rest of Valorant was up to. Amongst the clans, Alistar was well known and respected by all. On the tippity top of those mountains, he would let loose his warrior's roar, spooking off even the most courageous of those straying on clan land. Despite his terrifying presence, he advocated for his fellow kinfolk to extend an olive branch to other mortals. Most of them viewed minotaurs as big beasties, which made it mighty hard to break into outside social circles. Then here came along Noxus, making promises about this, that, and the other thing. Representing Noxus was the matriarch of House Twain, claiming that they were getting ready to take the coastal town of Basilic out east a ways. She alleged that Noxus wouldn't give the go-ahead if they didn't get the backing of the mountain's great clans, and proposed a meeting in a neutral space. A fair few of the Minotaur peoples thought that the notion wasn't too shabby. Banding together with Noxus could be their stepping stone to interacting with the rest of the world. Alistar wasn't so easily won over. He'd seen Noxian scouts aplenty as of late, each and every one being more crafty and treacherous as the last, and because of that, his clan sent him and another 50 of their best rumblers to turn Noxus down. What those other clans did wasn't his concern. Alistar was looking out for his own. It wasn't about bending a knee to a faraway Grand General. Alistar and company traipsed into those talks under an assumption of peace. But you know how Noxians are. Stabby and chock full of betrayal. The more sizable of the clans, who arrived earlier, had already accepted Noxian rule, turning against Alistar and his warriors as soon as they found out they weren't all with the same program. The ensuing battle was over and done with in just a few moments, with Alistar managing to crush Lady Twain's head betwixt his big beefy mitts. But he was quickly captured along with what little remained of his fellow warriors. They were dragged all the way back to the Noxian capital, charged with inciting rebellion. Those poor Minotaurs of the mountain ended up fighting for their lives in reckoning arenas, forced to take part in gladiatorial combat in a festival dubbed the Fleshing. Alistar was disgusted by the Noxian crowds and their craving for bloodlust. Amid all the deafening chanting, he beseeched his kin not to fight back, not to give the Noxians what they wanted. 21 days later, the festival ended. Alistar stood as the lone survivor of his clan. That Noxian crowd threw whatever they had on hand straight at him, from rocks to moldy fruit. He was pitted against countless reckoners, forced to fight as the very beast they thought he was. And he slaughtered those fighters. He kept up the massacre until he could hardly remember life before. Alistar then met Aelia, a servant girl tending to the arena. By this point he was seemingly far gone, a shred of a far cry from his past nobility. He slammed himself against the bars, a thunderous roar emerging from his fearsome snout. See, he expected Aelia to act like the rest of those Noxians, reacting with terror or provocation. Curiously enough, Aelia did neither of those. Every single day, when Aelia came by, she treated him with the one thing he'd forgotten even existed: compassion. Eventually, these visits wore down Alistar so that he came to trust her. He learned that Aelia was of a peoples that was also crushed beneath the Noxian war machine. Both had been subjected to such abject cruelties, so she proposed an escape plan. In utter secrecy, she spoke her plan in hushed whispers to that caged minotaur, and Alistar, for the first time in years, felt a spark of hope ignite in his heart. In the dark of night, Aelia got hold of the key to Alistar's prison, and Alistar, upon their friendship, swore he would repay her 10 times over for what she had sacrificed to break him out. In shadows, the two made their hurried escape to the river, toward a barge ready to whisk them away. But as they boarded, agents of Noxus surrounded them. Alistar flew into a rage. He began killing them off. All the while, Aelia kept calling out to Alistar. But he couldn't hear. He was too tunneled into his own bloodlusted frenzy. After all said and done, Alistar dispatched those surprised Noxians. In that flurry, the boat had already taken off, along with Aelia. Alistar took off southwards by foot, looking everywhere for Aelia. Couldn't find a single trace. Didn't know whether she was hurt, killed, or even apprehended. A couple of weeks later, a coup took place from deep within the seedy Noxian government, and the arena minotaur that broke out was all but yesterday's news. Now in times, Alistar makes his way alone, doing his best to stir up peoples in Noxian-occupied lands to fight back, to give a voice to those who don't. He'll go home, but he's got a few things to check off his list, righting the wrongs and appreciating the kindnesses. Then, and only then, will he put down his anger and return to his mountainy home. And every time he gets a chance, he asks folks if they've happened to have seen Aelia.